Most people think crochet is for grandmas. They're wrong, and I'm about to prove it. If you've ever picked up a crochet hook and thought, this is too hard, or I don't even know where to start, this video is exactly for you. Because today, I'm going to show you the easiest crochet ideas that actually look good. Not just good, like people will ask you where you bought them. And here's the thing, you don't need to have crocheted a single thing in your life to try these. Some of these projects take less than an hour. Some of them need just a few dollars worth of yarn. So stick with me because by the end of this video, you're gonna walk away with a whole list of things you can start making today. Let's get into it. So I want to start by talking about something that stops a lot of people before they even try, and that's the idea that crochet is complicated. You see these big, beautiful blankets on Pinterest, or those perfect little stuffed animals, and you think, okay, no way I can do that. And you're right, at first you can't, but nobody starts there. Everyone starts simple. The problem is most people never get shown what simple actually looks like. So that's what this whole video is about. Simple, easy, fun. Projects that won't make you want to throw your yarn out the window. Let's talk about the very first thing I'd tell any beginner to make, a crochet scrunchie. I know, it sounds almost too simple, but hear me out. A scrunchie is probably one of the fastest things you'll ever make with a hook. We're talking maybe 20 to 30 minutes once you get the hang of it. All you need is a little bit of yarn, literally leftover scraps work perfectly, and a hair tie. You just wrap yarn around the hair tie, do a basic stitch all the way around, and you're done. That's it. And the result looks genuinely cute. It's the kind of thing you can make in 5 different colors in an afternoon and give away as gifts. The stitch you'll use for scrunchies is called a single crochet. It's the most basic stitch in all of crochet. Once you know it, a whole world opens up for you, and the scrunchie is the perfect place to learn it because there's no pressure. If it looks a little uneven or the tension is off, it doesn't matter. It's a scrunchie. It just adds to the charm. Now let's talk about something slightly bigger but still very beginner-friendly, a crochet headband. Not the kind that has a full pattern of flowers or complicated textures, just a simple ear-warmer style headband. Think of it as a long rectangle that you fold and sew together at one point. That's genuinely what it is. You crochet a strip of fabric long enough to go around your head, join the ends, and done. You can make it wide, you can make it thin, you can switch colors halfway through. It's a really satisfying project because it's fast, and when you put it on and look in the mirror, you actually think, okay, I made that. That feels good. The best yarn for this is something chunky. Thicker yarn means bigger stitches, which means you can see exactly what you're doing. It also means the whole thing works up so much faster. If you've never bought yarn before and you're standing in a store feeling confused, just look for anything labeled bulky or super bulky on the label. That's your best friend when you're starting out. Now, I want to bring up something that a lot of beginners sleep on, and I want to address it head-on. Tension. When you're crocheting, tension means how tightly or loosely you hold the yarn. Too tight and your stitches are hard to get into on the next row. Too loose and everything looks messy and floppy. Getting the right tension takes practice, and that's totally normal. Don't stress if your first few rows look a little rough. Everyone's does. Your hands are literally learning something new. Give it time and it will click. The reason I'm mentioning it here is because the next project I want to talk about is actually a great way to practice tension without it mattering too much, and that's a crochet dishcloth or a washcloth or a market bag base, basically a flat square. Making a flat square sounds boring. It's not. A flat square teaches you everything. It teaches you how to start a row, how to turn your work, how to count your stitches so you don't accidentally add or lose one along the way, and when you're done, you have a functional thing you can actually use. Put it in your kitchen. Done. Useful and handmade. For this one, I'd recommend cotton yarn. Not wool, not acrylic. Cotton. It's smooth, it's easy to work with, and it's perfect for anything you're going to use in the kitchen or bathroom because you can throw it in the wash. Okay, now we're gonna step it up just a tiny bit. Not a lot, but enough to feel exciting. Let's talk about a crochet beanie, a basic, simple beanie. No fancy stitches, no complicated pattern reading, just a tube with a gathered top. If you can do a single crochet and you've learned what a magic ring is, which I'll explain in a second, you can make a beanie. A magic ring, sometimes called a magic circle, is just a way to start crocheting in a circle without leaving a hole in the middle. It sounds scary, but once you see it done one time, you'll never forget it. You basically make a loop with your yarn, hold it with your fingers, put your hook through, pull up a loop, and chain. Then you work your stitches into that loop and pull the tail to close it. It's maybe the most useful thing to learn after basic stitches. For a beanie, you work in rounds from the top down, or some people like to work from the bottom up. Either way is fine. You start with a small circle and increase every round until it's wide enough to fit your head. Then you just go straight without adding any more stitches until it's long enough to cover your ears. Close it off, done. A beanie in chunky yarn can take a few hours for a beginner, maybe 2 or 3, but it feels like such a big deal when it's finished. You made a hat, an actual hat that fits on your head. Now, here's where I want to talk about something that a lot of beginners sleep on, and that's market bags and tote bags. These are incredible for a couple of reasons. First, they're basically just a tube with a flat bottom and some handles. Simple construction. Second, the open mesh style that most tote bag patterns use is super forgiving because you can actually see your stitches clearly through all that open space. Third, and this is my favorite part, they're genuinely useful. You can take a market bag to the grocery store, use it as a beach bag, give it as a gift. People love them. The most commonly used stitch for these bags is a chain mesh. You make a chain, skip a stitch, make another chain, repeat. That creates those little diamond shapes you see in those beautiful net-style bags. It looks impressive, but it's actually one of the easiest stitch patterns out there. There's a rhythm to it, and once you find that rhythm, it almost feels automatic. If you want to try one, start small. Make a little produce bag first, like a small bag for putting fruit in at the grocery store. It's faster, uses less yarn, and teaches you the exact same skills as a full tote. Then, once you're confident, scale it up. Let's talk about something soft and cozy now, a crochet pillow cover. This is a project where you're basically just making 2 big squares and sewing them together on 3 sides, then adding a button or zipper on the 4th side. Some people skip the closure entirely and just stuff the pillow through an open end. Either way, you end up with a custom pillow cover that you made yourself. The great thing about this project is you can really play with color. You can make stripes by switching yarn colors at the end of each row. You don't need to know anything fancy. Just tie off one color, attach a new one, keep going. Striped pillow covers look really intentional and designed